Now you're watching this video because you want to get off of the LinkedIn roller coaster and get to a point where you can start to generate leads on autopilot through the platform. So that's exactly what we're going to cover. So you might be in a situation actually where you had a great month on LinkedIn because one of your posts took off, you found your DMs were full and you actually booked several calls. So you thought maybe I finally cracked the code. But then the next month, crickets again. This viral buzz has died down and the leads have stopped overnight. And now you're right back on the content treadmill again. You're basically desperately trying to catch lightning in a bottle again. And this is really what we call the LinkedIn roller coaster. And it can be an exhausting way to run a business. Now, I don't rely on viral posts. I actually rely on a system because here at Influx, we build predictable lead gen systems based on LinkedIn that don't depend on luck. So if something like that's of interest to you, I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to learn more. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why relying on basically viral posts or inconsistent activities, basically a recipe for feast or famine. And I'll give you a 3-part system for creating a predictable, consistent flow of leads from LinkedIn. So with all of that said, we're going to dive in, but here some evidence of the over 55,000 all organic followers on my personal brand through LinkedIn, the over 10 million impressions that we've driven through LinkedIn just on the last month, last year alone on my brand, and the fact that a lot of our clients have calendars that look like this, LinkedIn inbound DMs that look like this, and Stripe dashboards that look like that, based on all of the work and success that they've had with us. So if your lead flow from LinkedIn is basically inconsistent, it's like you're sitting in one or two seats on the roller coaster. First, you've got the viral chaser. It's like you live for the high of a post that takes off. You get a flood of engagement and leads, and it feels amazing, but you don't actually have a system to capture that momentum or to replicate it. So after this buzz dies, your pipeline becomes empty again, and then you're just left trying to create another viral hit. So it's like being a one-hit wonder over and over again. Secondly, there's the inconsistent dabbler, as we call them. It's like you get motivated, you post consistently for a week or two, and then you start to see some traction, and then you just get busy with client work and you disappear for a month. That way, your lead flow basically becomes a series of small peaks followed by a long, flat set of valleys, and you never build enough momentum to create a predictable stream. Now, both of these approaches are pretty much flawed because they rely on luck or unsustainable bursts of activity and not a disciplined system. So this inconsistent approach basically becomes damaging on LinkedIn for a few reasons. First, the algorithm will punish you for it because LinkedIn's feed is designed to reward creators who show up with a level of consistency. So when you post regularly, LinkedIn will show your content to more people, whereas when you disappear for weeks at a time, the algorithm eventually basically resets your reach, and you've got to start from scratch each and every time. Secondly, your audience will forget you because trust isn't built on basically a single viral post. It's built through consistently showing up day after day and week after week and providing real value. So if your audience only hears from you once a month, then you're not really a familiar face, and then you're not going to also become their go-to authority. The third thing, and most crucially, you don't have any predictable inputs. And so business growth is really about math. To get a predictable output like 10 leads each month, you need a predictable input like 12 posts and 300 connection requests each month. So if your inputs are random, then your outputs will be as well. You can't build a business based on random, right? So the only way really to get off this roller coaster is to really build a machine. And a machine doesn't rely on motivation or luck. It just executes its process each and every day. And I call this the LinkedIn consistency engine. And it's really got 3 core components. The first is systemized content. You need a content plan that's simple and repeatable. So you don't just post every single day. You're going to post 3 high quality strategic posts each week. And that's more than enough to build real momentum, especially if you do it consistently. The second is disciplined outreach. So you need a daily non-negotiable habit of connecting with your ideal clients, and not just when you feel like it, but every single day. 10 to 15 targeted personalized connection requests a day is a predictable input that actually leads to a predictable number of conversations. Third, you need to commit to process and not passion. Motivation can be fleeting, viral posts are rare. So a disciplined process is really what separates the amateurs from the 7-figure professionals. You don't post because you're inspired, you post because it's Tuesday, and that's what the process says to do. So we recently worked, for example, with a business coach who was a classic viral chaser. She had 2 posts go absolutely nuclear with over 1 million views each. basically impressions on the platform. The months that she had those posts, she made $40,000, but the months in between, she only made 5K. So she was addicted to the high of this viral hit, but was then living in a constant state of anxiety. So we helped to take her off of that roller coaster and to put her on the consistency engine. We developed a simple 3 post per week content plan and a daily outreach process. And the funny thing was that her average post now gets far fewer likes than her viral hits, but her business is stronger than ever. She now has a steady, predictable 15 to 20 qualified sales calls every single month, and her revenue is stable and growing at about 30K a month. So she traded the fleeting dopamine of viral fame for the security of a predictable business. Now, if you don't want to get off of this hamster wheel of kind of having these highs and then these lows constantly, and being basically on a bit of a roller coaster, we can walk you through what this 3-part system looks like in more detail based on a free training, where I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, completely free video for you to check out, which will break down what it looks like to get to the other side of this, so you can start to generate more qualified leads on autopilot, all completely through LinkedIn. So if you want a breakthrough of how that's done, check out the link I'll leave in the description box below with this video. If you did gain some value by watching this video as well, please do take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.